All right, everyone. This is an important show. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome. This is Authentic Hustle Show number 50. 50 episodes, week after week. We showed up one way or the other. Either me, Kelly, or Colin showed up 50 weeks. And very soon it's going to be 1 year in 2 more weeks. So, welcome, everyone, to the show. Uh,
Welcome.
so, today I wanted to share a clip. And before I share that clip, uh, it's not about political divisiveness or anything. It's about business economy and how things are progressing. I don't want to call it I'm left or right. I don't know whether I'm left or right or in the middle. I have no idea.
I
But
think
at the
I
same,
think you might be up.
I'm up. I'm not because I'm closer to Edmonton,
I think you might be up. We're not left or right. We're just up.
to the North Pole. So, but I saw this clip this morning and I couldn't help but share it. So let me know what we think about it. Let me go ahead and play that. Um, how do I play it? Okay, there we go. Let me know if you're able to see my screen. Okay.
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay.
We knew the story of the international rules-based order was partially false. That the strongest would exempt themselves when convenient. That trade rules were enforced asymmetrically. And we knew that international law applied with varying rigor depending on the identity of the accused or the victim. This fiction was useful. And American hegemony in particular helped provide public goods, open sea lanes, a stable financial system, collective security, and support for frameworks for resolving disputes. So we placed the sign in the window. We participated in the rituals. And we largely avoided calling out the gaps between rhetoric and reality. This bargain no longer works. Let me be direct. We are in the midst of a rupture, not a transition. Over the past 2 decades, a series of crises in finance, health, energy, and geopolitics have laid bare the risks of extreme global integration. But more recently, great powers have begun using economic integration as weapons. Tariffs as leverage, financial infrastructure as coercion, supply chains as vulnerabilities to be exploited. You cannot live within the lie of mutual benefit through integration when integration becomes the source of your subordination.
Was it audible?
Yeah. So walk me through, what's the rest of the context of that clip? Are we apparently gonna cut our ties with the United States or something? Where is he going with this?
It's cryptic. I can see that. But at the same time, he's calling out the big economies in the world. Whoever does it, whether it is a US or any other country, I think it applies to anyone who is trying to use economic coercion as a tactic for global financial subordination, right? So that's what he's talking about. He's coming from a financial background. That's how I connect with him. But yeah, that's what I read from that 90-second clip.
Yeah, it's interesting. What was your take on it? What was it that resonated with you?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where the country aligns from a Canadian perspective, from Alberta perspective, and from an economic economic coercion is not the way. I think in terms of if you're creating a trade partnership, I think Canada and US historically, from what I understand, has done $1 trillion worth of trade year on year, and Colin knows better than anyone else. But I think that's how we build countries. That's how we build economies, and the free trade agreement, the North American free trade agreement, and there's current USCMCA and all that. So I think the trade should be free. And if you're use tariffs and economic coercion and other means to basically dominate on countries, not sure if that is the best outlook for every country.
Yeah, Colin, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, for sure. I see where it's going, or I mean, I don't know. I can't read between the lines because usually there's nothing there, as my dad would say. But the reality of it is, yeah, economic coercion doesn't work. It works if you want to stand on a platform and say how many billions or trillions of dollars you've taken in in a certain period of time, but not what you've done with that money and not how it's helped the better good for people. But what I see is it's a play for power for sure is what's happening. But it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in the next 1, 2, 3 weeks from today after all that's, been in the news and everything that's going on, because a lot of comments were made prior to this. Some of those comments have been pulled back, probably for reason. We can all know who those came from. That type of thing. I don't know for my businesses alone. Yeah, for sure. I need some common sense trade, not necessarily free trade, but let's say common sense.
Right.
Or an agreement even for that part. I think what's happening now is the world has been shown that an agreement may not be an agreement anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You make an agreement and then you say, well, I don't like that one anymore. Well, you made it. Oh, I don't care.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, I'm going to come in with force. Oh, okay. So that's where we're at. Right. So right now I'm very similar. I'm not right. I'm not left. Maybe I'm center. I'm confused, to tell the truth. But what I'm not going to do is let it work. I'm not going to lose sleep over it, because that's just a waste of time. And it's a waste of my mental space. Easier said than done, but I think I'm going to try to live by it.
Yeah. Yeah. I look at, first off, I have no context to like where he's going with that. So I think maybe I have to preface this by saying that's my first introduction to that clip. I'm not sure what he's talking about. I'm not sure what the outcomes of that statement are. So I feel like I need to preface that because I'm just a little bit out of the loop. And that's intentional, guys. Like I just do my job. I show up and I do my stuff and I do my business development, and I'm trying to stay a little bit out of the mainstream news for my own mental sanity, because I need to stay positive and I need to keep moving forward with momentum. And to be honest, I'm still having a lot of success moving forward with momentum, carrying my shows forward, carrying my clients forward. So I think for me, I just focus in on the things that are going to move the needle for me, my business, and my clients. And I think that's what we all need to be focusing on. The other side of this is this. Canada and the United States need to figure out how to get along, period, full stop, by any means necessary. That's my honest opinion. We are too close to be fighting in any way, shape, or form. And at the end of the day, we're all relatively the same people. I have American friends who are incredible people. I have Canadian friends who are incredible people. At the end of the day, our two countries are friends, and we need to just continue to figure out how to get back on track. This elbows up stuff, put that away. Put it away. We need to figure out how to work together. This is the North American continent. We need to be friends. That's just my honest opinion on the whole thing. I get that right now it's hard, but this is a speed bump in the relationship of our two countries.
You know what it is? And I'm trying to look at it too as every day we live history, obviously, right? Yesterday's history as opposed to today. How can we, I love that you said the elbows up thing. I think whatever, I know some people are just dying on that hill. It's foolish. It sounds weird. It has no power to it.
Yeah.
We're doing no better than somebody else is if we're saying that. It's a power trip. Why can we not work together? And I know the world's not at peace, right? Well, guess what? The Middle East hasn't been at peace since Christ walked the earth. That's no joke. I'm not putting anyone down. That's the truth.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They're born into it. They get that. We have been at peace since World War II.
100%.
And now, for some reason, and we know what that is, we're trying to break that up, right? Just to grasp some more power and using the backbone of, it's a security move, right? It's a threat on security. Everything is a threat on security, right? Fentanyl is a threat on security. School buses are a threat on security. Class 4 vehicles, my world, they're a threat on security. But if you pay me 25%, you can bring them in. So if it was a threat on security, if you were a threat on security in my house, I don't care if you pay me 25%, you're not coming in.
Yeah.
Right? You're not coming in. Like,
Sure.
so why? It's an economical thing, right? It's a play. Anyway, I could go on all day about that, but yesterday we reviewed our, BJ, glad you brought this up. We had an annual review just with our accountants in their office, and
Right.
I made the decision there. We were forecasting, and some questions were asked, why can't? And I said, well, let's just take why can't off the table and say, what can we do?
Yeah.
Right? I can't change what happened or what didn't happen. I can't change yesterday. So why don't we just move ahead and worry about tomorrow?
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
And
I think
that's-
maybe, you're right on the money there, Colin, because at the end of the day, regardless of who you are and what you do, whether you're Canadian or American, what are we all in this for? We're in this for our families and our friends.
Yeah.
That's the truth. No matter who you are, right? No matter where you are in the world, you go to work every day for your families and your friends.
Yeah.
And I think that that's very important for us to remember, no matter kind of what's going on geopolitically, that at the end of the day, the people who matter the most to you are right around you.
Yeah.
And your reasons to get up every day and move the needle and make the world a better place, you don't have to look very far.
No, 100%.
And I think ultimately, when I look at everything that I do, yes, on the grand scale, I aim to make the world a much better place. The Business Development Podcast exists to change business development worldwide, and we are absolutely doing it. But if I look around at, my motivations, yes, of course, there's legacy that all of us want to leave behind us. But where's your biggest legacy? It's your kids.
Right. Yeah.
Your kids are the greatest legacy. All the work I do, everything that I do at some point will be lost to history. But the Kennedys are going to live on through my kids.
100%. Well, I was saying to Kelly earlier on the call, of course I have a history. I have an ancestry, I guess. I just don't know a whole bunch about it. And there's not a lot to dig up or learn just because of how everything happened. But that's a great point, Kelly. I'm responsible for the legacy I leave, and that's what I should be worried about. I'm responsible. They're going to look at me. I hope somebody can look back and say, okay, he made a difference.
Yeah.
Okay, he did something. And what I want that to be, I want that to be positive.
Absolutely.
Right? He made a positive difference. Making a difference, you can be a negative difference. Because you can say, oh, that guy really was something. And just take that statement for a second. Just say, oh, yeah, that Colin Harms, he's really something. That can mean two totally different things.
Just depends on the day.
Just depends on the day. All right?
Yeah.
What did people think of that?
Yeah.
And I love that. And I love where that conversation, brought us.
Yeah.
Because I think that's very, very, I don't want to sound, I'm not that guy. That's very present, right? That's very today. It's right here. So.
Yeah. Well, I think at the end of the day, we have all of these international, spiffs going on right now. Let's just call it what it is.
Yep.
But the reality is that at the end of the day, Carney is responsible for this country, Canada.
Yeah. Right.
So for me personally, I want him to stop complaining about the rest of the world. And I want him to get to work here in Canada, making our world the best place possible, making Canada, the true north, strong and free as it always has been. At the end of the day, worry about your home. Yeah. Worry about the country that you were elected to look after. Because at the end of the day, Canada needs unity, not more division. And there's not a lot of work, in my opinion, being done to unite this country, which to my feeling, and once again, it's only me, but I feel like any prime minister, regardless of what side you're on, you have one job. Unite the country and do the best job you can possibly do for Canada. Or, in Trump's case, United States. I get it that we have to worry about the geopoliticals of international trade and stuff, but at the end of the day, Canada didn't elect him. America did. In the end of the day with Carney, America didn't elect him. Canada did. The job is home.
Yeah.
The job is look after your home.
It hit me when you said the whole key is to unite a country, and it's probably why it's called United Nations, the UN, right? It's
Yeah.
like I think that has been far forgotten, right? When you talk about it, because the whole purpose of was to unite the nations.
Yeah.
Nobody,
Right.
you turn on the news, you listen to. It's kind of like, hey, I'm going to stand up. I'm going to one up the person that spoke before me. I'm going to one up the one I'm smarter than that person. Um, and then you add AI to it, and then you add the rest of the world and their comments to it. And
Yeah.
by the end of the day, you're angry, right? And are you angry because of a certain thing? Probably not. You're just angry now, right? You don't even know why. Like, I've had conversations with people where I'm like, oh, I see where this is going. Well, guess what?
Yeah.
That's my opinion. That's the, the opinion of myself. And on the other end, if I was to reverse it on them, they're probably saying, well, I see where this is going, right?
Yeah.
And guess what? Guess why we have no unity? That's why, right? I need to allow you, VJ, or you, Kelly, to have your opinion. That's your opinion. And that's
Yeah.
your belief, right? Your
Yeah.
belief system, you're allowed to have that. And I'm allowed to have mine. We will not have unity until we all three agree that we can agree to disagree even.
Yeah. Yeah. And
it's
I think
called
the other
the let
Sorry.
them theory, Colin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think the other side too is that
you're
like
so right.
I can only speak to being a Canadian. Period. Period. I am not American. I don't know what you're going through in America, right? And first off, that's just like you guys can't understand what's going on for us. Like we have to worry about our own backyards. Because
We
those are
do.
the backyards. Those are the backyards that we understand. Those are the backyards that we truly have authority to speak to.
For sure.
And really, even within Canada, I will make the argument that the only backyard that I can speak to in Canada is Alberta. Right? Because that is my backyard. That is my home. I'm Edmonton based, right? Things are different in every province. Things are different in BC. They're different in Saskatchewan, and they are very different in Atlantic Canada and on the other side, right? Like,
Yeah.
we need to understand that, like, it's a big enough country as it is living in Canada that if we can't figure out how to unite ourselves, we're already in trouble.
If we were to go back in history, let's just go back, 30, 40 years, and even just down, back prime ministers just in Canada, and listen to the rhetoric or the talk back then, it doesn't change, right? It was the same thing. Oh, doomsday, right? I can't believe this government, right? Or go way back, right, to the early 1900s, right? Oh, I can't believe that guy's president. Oh, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe they took this. I can't believe they did that.
Sure.
History repeats itself, and history leaves clues, right? We do somewhat live in cycles, whether it's economic or, now it could be war, right? I don't know, right? Seems to be the news of social media wants us to believe we're entering third world war. Are we? How do I know? I'm that same guy. I'm Colin Harms, right?
Yeah.
I think things might be different before World War happens, right? But I don't know. And if we do,
Sure.
right? My wife and I were walking the dog, and she says, "Well, what happens if World War III starts? Like so and so said, the missiles are going to go over Canada." Okay, I guess I keep walking my dog.
Am I living in a box? Where? I have not been paying attention, Colin. What's happening?
That's why you're so happy. Don't keep doing what
Oh
you
my goodness,
do.
guys! I'm so sorry. I literally worry about like what's going on in like 30
know.
minutes or an hour from now. Not like I
Yeah.
have not been paying attention to the news. So please bring me into it. What's
Well-
happening?
Well, how about this, VJ? You're Kelly and I are Alberta, right? We're Alberta based. We've traveled on holidays. You are a world traveler. You've lived in various parts of the world. You're born in another country, a different continent. What's your view? Right? You've seen all types of
No,
things that I speak for myself that I haven't seen. I haven't seen war, right? I've seen a couple fist
Yeah.
fights. I'm not dumbing it down like I don't want to see
Right.
right?
No,
we've
me
always
neither.
said, right? our military was a couple canoes, right? That's right. And so my dad
and a
always
fleet of
used to say,
submarines that work
Yeah.
sometimes.
and
Yeah.
some slingshots, but they didn't get rocks, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So
right.
Vijay, what's your
No, actually, earlier I said, like, I don't know which side I'm on, whether I'm on left or the right. Like, leaving that aside, I think I know where I'm on which side, actually. I'm on humanity side. I'm on people's side. I'm on everyday citizen side. I think
Yeah.
that's the side I'm going to take.
Yeah.
In terms of war, I didn't flee. Because, like, I have a clear reason why I say that. Because, like, people are, I mean, okay, you're not a victim. I'm not a victim at all. I don't consider myself victim. But at the same time, when like millions of people are actually going through something, there is a common thread across like millions of people, I pay attention to that. So which kind of affects me also, my business, my family, everyone around me also. So that kind of like affects me, my decision making and all of that. But to your question, Colin,
Yeah.
I didn't flee a war zone like it's like some others have. I didn't flee a war zone. I still can go back to my country, which is a blessing. Not many can actually. So I consider myself fortunate that way. But at the same time, like one critical observation I did find when I was living in the US and then instantly moving to Canada right around 2018, 2019, I went to the store called Walmart. You may not heard about it.
Is it a wall of things?
Yeah, it's a wall of
Sell
things, actually.
You sell walls?
Yes, all was. So I was in Walmart, and I think it was a pair of knives or something like a very trivial thing, and we had that product in our home. It was $8 US, right? And we were in Canada, and we went to the same store. Look what surprise! The Walmart exists in Canada also, and China. You know, China. So I mean, they are like 95% from Chinese goods, right? So the supplier is the same. We saw the exact same product on the shelves of the Canadian Walmart. The price was $24 Canadian, right?
Yeah.
That's like, you're stealing from people. That's stealing, actually. I mean, I don't like that. Even if you convert $8 American, I don't know, is it what, like $11.50 or whatever?
Yeah, probably like
it's
13, but yeah.
It's like twice the amount, like
Yeah.
$24. I mean, I saw
the
that.
Canada tax, man. We've been paying that a long time.
Yeah, and it kind of like repeats over the car price, everything.
Yeah.
Because once you start adding up to the nuts and bolts of everything, then you actually amount it. So you're basically like spending like more time in your life. It's a way of stealing people's life, actually. If it's going to cost more to live the same life, you know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. That's fair.
That bothers me, actually.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
No. But hold on. I want to take this back because I feel like maybe I'm living under a rock. Why are like Colin?
Yeah.
What about like why are you worried about war right now? What did I miss?
Yeah, so I'm not worried about it. Is just between China, the United States, and maybe the rest of the world. Just the threats are real, right, with force. And the biggest threat of World War III would be the United States not backing the United Nations, saying they are, but they're not,
Okay.
and going against Europe, right? The European Union, and saying that if, let's just say the United States did use force, went into Greenland, right? 57,000 people, all of them, right? Then what's going to happen, right? That's not war, but they're saying it because of China, right? And the tariffs
I
of
see.
China, and it's deeper than that, but they're pushing the buttons of the superpowers, I guess, easy way to say it. And at some point, what if one of them just decides to do it? Like we have seen a lot of things done in the last year that have never been done. So what if somebody does do that? And then, just everything going on in the Middle East, right? It's the part that's bothersome and that I'm trying to ignore is the power, the feat for power is so strong, right? And maybe I just don't know. Maybe the threat of security is so deep out there that it needs to happen. I don't know that.
Yeah.
Right. But I've lived my life 53 years thinking things were pretty good. and maybe they're not.
Yeah. Well,
and
I think that there's a level.
States.
Yeah.
Right?
I think we're kept in the dark. I do. I think like as a nation, as like on like a civilian level, regardless of what country you're in, and I don't care. This isn't a Canada thing. This isn't an American thing.
Oh, no.
This is just a civilian level thing. I think we are kept deeply in the dark.
Right.
One book that comes to my mind, I forget. I think Ray Dalio, right? I think Ray Dalio wrote this book. I'm trying to remember the name of the book.
Yeah, the principles.
Just give me a second. The Changing World Order. Yeah, he wrote the principles. He wrote a book called Changing World Order. It's basically the stories about all about okay, the American empire is coming to. It's actually taking its time, and next probably China might come up. That's what the book is about. So he created a 40-minute video. Also, I watched it in its entirety. I think he's a critical thinker. Ray Dalio has created very informative substances, and it could be true. It may not be true. But I think here's the conspiracy, and which could be true in probably in a year or two. But the larger question in terms of everything that's happening from world events is one is the falling, the devaluation of the U.S. dollar. Right? The original value of like 50 years ago, 60 years ago, the value of dollar, which was at $1, now it's actually 96, 97% devalue. And that's why we see inflation and cost, and they have a $37 trillion debt or whatever, right? And I don't know, some of these actions, Greenland, I don't know, maybe pay for it. Venezuela, maybe it might be a good opportunity to repay all of that. Might be, that I think what. Here's my observation. I want to be completely wrong, but I think they're trying to use the superpower, quote unquote. I don't know what that means actually, but the superpower status to kind of dominate on a position there, double down and then capture something or economic coercion, military coercion, whatever, and then try to bring back and then restore the value of US dollar to bring back to its original form. Because there is a real threat in terms of losing the quote unquote superpower status. I think that's what I think
I agree.
Allegedly are probably fearful of. My observation.
I'll just admit I'm a very simple person. And so I love what you said. And this is what that means to me. Okay. So I've racked up a bunch of debt. My name's Colin. I've racked up a bunch of debt. I owe all this money. So I'm just going to go take it out of that bank because I have more power than they do right now. And I'm just going to take that and pay off my debt. We good? We good? Because that's what it is, right? You're going to another country, taking all their crude oil, and I'm just going to take this. I'm going to seize it. I know it was purchased by Russia, but I'm going to take it. And I know there's way more to it. But just on the surface level, it's not yours, right? That's the problem I see out there is, okay, then, I see the map yesterday that was portrayed by somebody and it had the United States, Canada, Venezuela, all of it was part of the United States with stars and stripes, right?
Right.
Presented on a world forum. Well, that's wonderful, right? Then why don't you just take the world, right? Why don't you just take the world?
Yeah.
It's interesting. Anyway. It's interesting, Colin, because if you look at the way that, and I get it, here's the thing. The world simply wasn't connected. The world wasn't connected the way it was, 200-300 years ago. It's we're connected in a whole nother level now that we have airplanes, now that we can just fly from place to place. But really, if you go back 100 years, that's exactly how it was. People did just go and take whatever they wanted. It's crazy.
Right. I mean, it just ain't right. Actually, it's from a morality perspective. I don't know where that sits. But I don't know if you have a problem. Find a way to repay it by your own means, not like Colin said, robbing another bank or another country in this matter.
It's interesting because I guess what happens in a scenario where they can't repay it. Maybe that is literally the scenario that we find ourselves in today is that countries, I'm not just speaking to one, but maybe all, underneath the current paradigm, they've all found themselves in over their heads with debt.
We have Moon, Venus, Saturn, Uranus. We have planets next, Kelly. So, I'm very optimistic on that. So
that's right, Artemis. We're going to the moon. I'm excited about that.
What is after countries? Earth, right? It's next is moon and planets, and that's what it is, right?
That's right. Elon Musk getting to Mars so you can get those resources.
It's I tell my wife actually the non-fiction. I do a lot of non-fiction. Lately, I'm doing a lot of fiction just to keep my mind going. But
Yeah.
sometimes I find the non-fiction more interesting than the fiction sometimes. So
Yeah. Yeah.
there we go.
Absolutely. Well, that's a good place to leave it off, guys. For those of you that are tuning in with us, thank you so much. 50 episodes. We couldn't have got this far without you. We appreciate your support. Please give us a like and follow on YouTube. Share your favorite show. Appreciate it greatly. And we will see you all again next week.
Yeah. See you soon. Bye.
Later, hustlers.